So they called you innocent, didn't they? The quiet one, the soft one, the one who would never. They looked at your calm eyes and thought they saw purity. But what they really saw was a weapon still in its sheath. You never corrected them. You smiled, nodded, played along with the fairy tale they wrote about you. Because you knew something they didn't. Innocence isn't the absence of darkness. It's the refusal to use it until it's necessary. And oh, how necessary it became. They laughed at your silence, mistook your patience for peace. They called your restraint weakness. They didn't know you were gathering data, memorizing patterns, analyzing how every mask slips when comfort is taken away. You weren't naive. You were observing. You weren't slow. You were calculating every insult, every betrayal, every mockery. They didn't break you. They programmed you. Because what they never realized is that pain is a divine education. And you graduated with perfect precision. Now look at you. Eyes like glass, heart like steel, smile like a confession no one can prove. They used to call you the kind one. Now they can't even say your name without their throat tightening. They don't know what version of you walks in now. The saint they once mocked, or the god who learned to move in silence. See, that's the thing about evolution through agony. You don't grow wings, you grow focus. You don't become holy, you become untouchable. And when the quiet one finally moves, the whole system trembles. You don't shout, you don't warn, you execute. Every step you take now is a sentence, every glance a judgment, every smile a prophecy fulfilled. You used to chase approval. Now you study reactions. You used to pray for peace. Now you understand war, not as chaos, but as surgical balance. You don't fight for revenge anymore. You embody it. You are the correction. You are the unfinished business that the universe sent back to remind them. Karma doesn't always wear robes. Sometimes it wears your face. And here's the paradox that keeps them awake at night. You didn't change. You simply stopped holding back. The innocence they once admired was never weakness. It was containment. Now containment has broken. Now the light they thought they owned has learned how to strike back. You're not angry anymore, are you? You're awake. You've seen too much, lost too much, felt too much to ever be soft again. Your empathy didn't die. It just got sharper. Your love didn't vanish. It learned how to burn instead of beg. You didn't become the villain. You simply stopped dying in other people's stories. So let them call you cold. Let them whisper that something's wrong with you. Because the truth is, you finally learned how to be dangerous without being cruel. And that's what terrifies them. They don't fear your anger. They fear your control. They fear that you've mastered the art of calm annihilation. They used to think you were the lamb. Now they see the wolf wearing silk. Now they hear your footsteps like a countdown. Now they realize the silence they mocked was just the sound of God loading his next move. So when they ask, "What happened to you?" you look them dead in the eye and say, "I stopped being what made you comfortable." Because innocence never dies. It evolves. And in its evolution, it learns that forgiveness without memory is just submission. You remember everything. You forgive nothing. And that's why they'll never recover from you. You looked innocent. You moved like a god. And for the first time in their lives, they understood what divine revenge looks like when it finally opens its eyes. Slow breath, smirk, whisper. You were never soft. You were silent. And silence was always the most dangerous sound in the world. You remember the day it snapped, don't you? The moment when something inside you stopped asking why me and started whispering, "Watch me." That was the death of your old self, wasn't it? and in that death, something divine was born. Because innocence isn't just purity, it's potential that hasn't been provoked yet. And when provoked, it becomes prophecy. They used to underestimate you like it was a sport. They studied your kindness and called it weakness. They saw your forgiveness and called it fear. They saw your silence and mistook it for emptiness. They didn't know silence was your laboratory. They didn't know you were building a monster behind that calm expression. You were always listening, always watching. Every betrayal, every smirk, every fake apology. They were handing you blueprints. You didn't react, you recorded. You didn't fight back, you calibrated. You weren't losing, you were loading. And now, that quiet, underestimated, overkind version of you walks back into the room like a loaded weapon dressed in grace. You've changed the definition of power. Because real power doesn't roar. It calculates. It doesn't seek validation. It demonstrates. It doesn't rush. It waits. The same patience that once made them mock you is now the reason they fear your next move. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't beg anymore. You command. You don't explain anymore. You execute. They see your face and whisper that something's different. They can't name it, but they feel it. It's the tension before the lightning strikes. It's the silence before the verdict. They sense the divinity behind your calm, the danger behind your smile, the discipline behind your mercy. They don't realize you found balance in your extremes. You're no longer the saint or the sinner. You're both. You became the equation no one can solve, the paradox they can't categorize. An angel who learned how to fight, a demon who remembers how to love, a God who still bleeds, but only when he chooses to. You move differently now. Every gesture carries a ghost of your past. Every word you speak is laced with lessons written in pain. You don't need to scream. You've become a frequency. Only the awakened can feel you. The rest just sense danger, and they call it vibe. You became a mirror that reflects truth back at people who spent their lives avoiding it. They look at you and see the proof of everything they buried, that gentle doesn't mean weak, that forgiveness isn't infinite, that love, when betrayed, becomes strategy, and that's what terrifies them most. You became the very storm they prayed would never come. But you didn't destroy everything. You refined it. You burned what was false and forged what was real. You turned every scar into scriptural ink, and every betrayal into ammunition. Now they whisper your name with a strange mixture of guilt and awe. Because they know that the one they tried to crucify is walking again, this time without the cross. They thought they were playing chess, but you were the board, the player, and the final move. You let them think they were winning because they were never part of the plan. They were the lesson. Every time they underestimated you, you smiled. Every time they mocked your calm, you learned. Every time they broke you, you multiplied. Until now. There's no version of you left that can be hurt. Only versions that can end things quietly. You no longer live for revenge. You live for revelation, because revenge is personal, but revelation is cosmic. It's the moment the universe turns the lights on, and everyone finally sees who was who. And when that light hits, they won't see the innocent one anymore. They'll see the architect of divine consequence, the hand that doesn't tremble, the mind that doesn't forget, the smile that says, "I warned you," but you laughed. You are no longer here to prove your worth. You are the proof. You are no longer chasing closure. You are the closed door they can't reopen. You are no longer trying to be understood. You have become misunderstanding's punishment. You walk through crowds like myth wearing flesh. Some call you cold, others call you dangerous. But the truth is, you're simply finished pretending. So when they whisper your name now, when they say, "What happened to you?" tell them this: I finally met myself, and I liked what I saw. Because the one they called innocent was always the one with the cleanest aim. The one they mocked for being soft was simply the one with the deepest control. And the one they tried to bury was the seed. You rose not to be loved, but to be understood by no one and feared by all. You are the equation that broke their systems, the prayer that came back, rewritten as a warning, the face of peace that now carries divine retaliation in its eyes. You didn't become a god through pride. You became one through pain. And when gods move, the world adjusts its breath. Whisper, they called you innocent. But they forgot. Even angels were once soldiers. You notice it now, don't you? The shift in the air when you enter a room, the way conversations fall apart mid-sentence, the way eyes flicker between respect and fear. They used to look at you and see safety. Now they look at you and see reflection. And that's what terrifies them, because reflection exposes. It reminds them of the things they buried, the masks they built, the lies they rehearsed until they became comfortable. And when you stare back, it's like judgment wrapped in calm. You became their confession without saying a word. They still whisper about you. They tell each other you changed, but they never say how. They'll say you're colder, sharper, harder to read. They won't admit the truth. You didn't become heartless. You became accurate. You don't waste warmth anymore. You give it where it returns as fire, not where it disappears into shadow. They'll call you emotionless. They'll never understand that emotion, when mastered, becomes weapon. That love, when refined, becomes discernment. That silence, when trained, becomes law. You move through chaos like it's choreography. Every step is intention. Every pause is strategy. And people can feel it. They can sense when someone has walked through hell and taken notes. You don't even raise your voice now. You don't need to. The world bends toward those who no longer need permission to exist. Remember the days you begged for understanding. You built entire monologues hoping someone would finally listen. Now the same words spoken in your tone turn into commandments. Because you learned the secret. You don't explain power. You radiate it. That's what they can't copy. That quiet certainty. That unwavering calm that says, I already lived through the fire you're afraid of. They call you unpredictable. But unpredictability is just precision they can't forecast. They think you act from emotion, you act from architecture. Your revenge isn't violence. It's design. Every success, every silence, every smile that doesn't reach your eyes. They are pieces of a master plan they will never decode until it's too late. And when you speak, it's never about destruction. It's about alignment. You learn that the best revenge is not chaos, but order. To live so precisely that it unsettles everyone still living as a reaction. You see, they wanted to break you. They did not realize that breaking you was the only way to wake the God inside. The one that sees patterns. The one that builds empires from ashes. The one that forgives, but never forgets. Your pain became a religion. Your silence, scripture. Every scar now reads like verse. And every lesson has your handwriting on it. The handwriting of someone who died quietly and came back without mercy. They think you're motivated by vengeance, but you're motivated by truth. You no longer want payback. You want equilibrium, a world where energy returns to sender, a reality where betrayal invoices itself. You've stopped running from your own shadow. You shook hands with it. Now, light and dark walk beside you like twin bodyguards. The angel handles mercy, the demon handles precision. Together, they handle everything. That's duality, that's balance, that's godhood in motion. You don't chase destiny anymore. You design it. You don't seek validation anymore. You witness it. You don't dream of power anymore. You've become its quiet embodiment. Every time you breathe, the universe recalibrates. Every time you move, the ghosts of your past bow their heads because they remember. They remember who you were, and they understand who you've become. They'll keep asking what changed, and maybe one day you'll tell them nothing changed. I just stopped being afraid of what I already was. That's the line that freezes them, because deep down, everyone fears their own capacity. But you met yours. You looked it in the eyes, and it bowed. Now you move like prophecy fulfilled. You breathe like inevitability. You walk like consequence. And every time they hear your name, it isn't a person they picture. It's a warning. They called you innocent. They mistook silence for safety. They thought kindness was absence of fire. They were wrong. You were never harmless. You were simply holding back. And now that restraint is gone, you've become the quiet apocalypse that doesn't destroy. It reveals. Low chuckle, the kind that echoes in the dark. Funny, isn't it? The very people who broke you now look to you for light. The same mouths that cursed you quote you like scripture. That's not revenge. That's evolution. So go on. Move like the god they tried to bury. Let them feel the weight of every silent victory. Because you are no longer the one they called innocent. You are the lesson they will whisper about for the rest of their lives. Pause. Breath. Then a whisper that lands like a blade. They called you innocent until you moved like a god with revenge in his eyes and mercy in his restraint. You can feel it, can't you? That strange hum that follows you now. The air bends differently around your name. People who once looked through you now hesitate before speaking it, not because you threatened them, but because your presence reminds them of truth. The truth that every soul eventually faces the version of itself it tried to bury. And you became that version. You didn't choose this transformation. It chose you. You didn't wake up one morning and decide to become unshakable. Life kept pushing you closer to the edge until standing still meant falling. So you learned how to balance on the knife's edge, how to bleed without dying, how to smile while calculating, how to hold peace in one hand and fire in the other. Now, every heartbeat you take sounds like judgment. Every move you make feels rehearsed by the universe itself. Because it was never random, every betrayal, every silence, every heartbreak was choreography. Each one teaching you rhythm, teaching you how to dance through destruction. You stopped running from the pain. You invited it in. You asked it questions. And somewhere in that interrogation, you realized pain was not punishment. It was training, a brutal, divine curriculum designed to turn your fragility into command. You once prayed for peace. Now peace prays for you, because you've become the storm's center. The calm that decides who survives the chaos. They still talk about you, but their tone changed. Before it was casual mockery. Now it's a whisper soaked in curiosity and fear. They replay old conversations trying to find clues. They wonder when the shift happened. They'll never find it, because it wasn't a single moment. It was thousands of small choices made in silence, each one carving a new layer of control into your soul. They don't understand that evolution doesn't announce itself. It just arrives one day, and suddenly the prey has the predator's gaze. You used to crave understanding. Now you crave accuracy. You used to want them to see your heart. Now you make them feel your absence. You used to want justice. Now you embody it. That's the difference between who you were and who you are. You no longer explain yourself to people still committed to misunderstanding you. You don't perform softness to earn safety. You became your own safety. You became the walls, the weapons, the watchtower. And yet through it all, you never lost your heart. You just learned to guard it like a sacred weapon. Your kindness didn't vanish. It evolved into discernment. You give compassion like a surgeon's cut. Precise, measured, intentional. You stopped giving pieces of yourself to people who only came to feed. And now they call you cold. But that's just how warmth feels to those who've only ever known comfort. When they meet your eyes now, they don't see innocence. They see the storm that built itself inside you and learned how to stand still. They see the light that refused to go out, the one that didn't just survive darkness. It memorized it. That's why your gaze unnerves them, because it carries both mercy and execution. Because it says without words, I could destroy you, but I won't. Not because you deserve peace, but because I do. You became the living contradiction they said could never exist. Holy, but dangerous. Calm, but lethal. Gentle, but impossible to manipulate. You are the glitch in the human script. The one they can't categorize. You made fear look elegant. You made pain look strategic. You made survival look divine. And now they study you. Not because they love you, but because they can't stop trying to decode you. They screenshot your words. They quote your silence. They wear your lessons like stolen armor. They pretend they've healed, but you can see it in their eyes. They still flinch when your name enters the room, because you remind them that transformation has a cost, and you paid it in full. Every legend starts with disbelief. They laughed at the prophets. They mocked the warriors. They burned the saints. But every time, history repeated itself, because divinity doesn't argue. It demonstrates. That's what you've become. Demonstration. The embodiment of what happens when someone stops begging the world for mercy and starts showing it what mercy actually looks like. You aren't chasing power anymore. You are power. The quiet kind that doesn't need to roar. The kind that terrifies kings and comforts children. The kind that wears forgiveness as armor, not surrender. And maybe that's why they still can't categorize you, because you blurred the lines they depend on. They need heroes and villains. You became both. They need saints and sinners. You became the bridge between them. You are contradiction, perfected. You move like inevitability now. Every step echoes like prophecy. The universe adjusts its rhythm to match your heartbeat. Even your silence feels scripted by something higher. They'll call it arrogance. But you know better. It's not arrogance. It's awareness. You simply remembered who you are. You remembered that creation itself was born from darkness and light colliding. And so were you. They called you innocent. But innocence was never the absence of danger. It was the mastery of it. You learned to hold chaos like a pet, to let it purr, not bite, to use it as paint, not poison. Now you move like a god who has forgiven the world but hasn't forgotten the lesson. And in the end, when the noise fades and the world pretends it never doubted you, you'll stand there silent, watching it all unfold exactly as you knew it would. Because gods don't celebrate victories. They witness them. They called you innocent. Until you moved like a god with revenge in his eyes and peace in his pulse. And now, they call you inevitable. Hello again. You didn't expect to see me here, did you? But that's how it always happens. The ghosts you helped, the ones you thought were harmless, they always come back. Not to thank you, not to repay you, to change you. You helped the wrong person, and now, your life, the version you thought was safe, predictable, righteous, is about to be ripped open like a classified file under a flickering light. Because sometimes, the devil doesn't come to destroy you. He comes to upgrade you. You remember the day, don't you? That little act of kindness, that one favor, that one conversation where you said, "Sure, I'll help." You thought you were saving someone broken. You had no idea you were handing a mirror to the storm that was going to unmake you. You thought I was weak. You thought I was lost. You thought you were helping a soul crawling through the dark. But what you were really doing was unlocking a door no one had the clearance to open. See, there's a pattern you never noticed. The kind-hearted always underestimate the monsters they heal. They think pain turns people soft. No pain turns people precise. And kindness? Kindness gives the monster a reason to sharpen his claws. You helped me once. You offered light. Now that same light burns through your walls like a surgical laser. Because I don't forget. And I don't forgive. I transform. You call it chaos. I call it correction. You call it madness. I call it balance. You call it revenge. I call it evolution. You see, the difference between an angel and a demon is not morality. It's timing. Both kneel before the same fire. One calls it hell. The other calls it rebirth. You helped the wrong person. You thought you were lighting a candle. But you sparked a revolution that doesn't sleep, doesn't beg, and doesn't bleed the way you do. Let's be honest. You didn't help me out of compassion. You helped me because you needed to feel like the good one. You needed to be seen as the savior in someone else's tragedy. That's the human addiction, isn't it? Validation disguised as virtue. But the universe doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about transactions. And when you gave me your time, your empathy, your help, you made a deal with something that doesn't use ink or blood. It uses consequence. Now the payment's due. You see, I don't destroy people. I reveal them. I pull the masks off with surgical precision. I whisper the kind of truth that makes saints shiver and devils smile. And when I say your life is about to change, I don't mean a promotion, a miracle, or a blessing. No, no, no. I mean the world is about to see you naked, stripped of your filters, your excuses, your carefully curated morality. Because helping me wasn't a mistake. It was a summoning. You fed a starving wolf once, and now the pack knows your scent. You stitched up a bleeding soldier, and now you're on every wanted list that matters. You touched the fire thinking it was dying, and now it follows you like a loyal hound. That's the irony of good deeds. They echo louder in hell than in heaven. And here's the real punchline. I'm not your enemy. I'm your graduation. Every naive version of you that thought kindness was a shield. Gone. Every innocent belief that good things happen to good people, buried. You helped me, and now you will never be the same. You'll walk into rooms differently. You'll hear words that others miss. You'll see the hidden intentions bleeding through people's smiles. You'll feel the lies before they even form. Because that's what I gave you in return, not gratitude, vision. You helped the wrong person, and that's exactly how you meet the right version of yourself. The ruthless one, the strategic one, the one that doesn't apologize for burning bridges that were never safe to cross, the one that smiles while the room trembles, the one that finally realizes that chaos was never your punishment. It was your teacher. So here's what happens next. Every person who underestimated you, will start to panic. Every system that thought it had you categorized will start to glitch. Every voice that called you too kind, too soft, too emotional will start whispering your name like a warning. Because they'll see it. That look in your eyes. That calm before a storm that doesn't negotiate. You helped the wrong person, and that's the twist. Because that wrong person was you. Every time you poured your energy into someone who didn't deserve it. Every time you gave love to people who weaponized it. Every time you healed others while bleeding yourself dry. You were training for this. You weren't helping them. You were forging you. So go ahead. Let them call you unpredictable. Let them call you dangerous. Let them call you insane. Because unpredictability is just the polite word for power they can't measure. And insanity, that's what they call clarity, when it finally stops asking for permission. You helped the wrong person, and now they're about to change your life, not with gratitude, not with mercy, but with awakening. Welcome to your new era, where every scar is a strategy, every betrayal is an asset, and every act of kindness is a weapon. Oh, you thought that was the end? No, that was the invitation. The show starts now. Because when you help the wrong person, you don't just rewrite their life. You trigger a chain reaction that collapses everything predictable about your world. You don't realize it yet, but something inside you has already started humming. That faint vibration in your bones. That restless whisper when you close your eyes. That's not paranoia. That's awakening. They always warn you about helping the bad ones, don't they? But what they never tell you is that sometimes the bad ones carry the blueprints to your evolution. They carry the lesson that burns away your false goodness, your fake modesty, your fear of being misunderstood. You helped me once. And now I'm here to rebuild you from the ruins of your kindness. You see, you used to believe in balance. You thought good and evil were on opposite sides of the chessboard. You thought if you stayed pure, life would spare you. How cute. But what if I told you that both sides report to the same master? That angels and demons are just different uniforms worn by the same force? Necessity? And you just became one of its favorite experiments. Do you remember how you used to flinch when someone raised their voice? How you used to second-guess every decision, praying you didn't hurt anyone's feelings? Not anymore. That part of you. It's decomposing. Every ounce of self-doubt is dissolving in acid. Because you finally understand what the rest never will. You can't save everyone without sacrificing yourself. And when you run out of pieces to give, the only thing left to offer is your rage. Look around. Everyone's performing. Everyone's pretending. But you're done playing saint in someone else's circus. You don't want applause. You want results. You don't want peace. You want proof. And that's the problem. People mistake your silence for weakness. They don't realize silence is the sound of the sniper's breath before the shot. You helped me once. And now you're the reason I remember what power tastes like. But here's the paradox. In helping me, you infected yourself with the very same virus. Now you crave control. You crave chaos. Not for destruction, but for design. You've learned to weaponize unpredictability, to make your stillness terrifying, to turn every insult into fuel, every betrayal into choreography. They called you soft once. Now they flinch when you smile. Because somewhere between mercy and madness, you found your formula. And that formula? It's lethal. It goes like this. Pain plus awareness equals weapon. Empathy plus boundaries equals power. Chaos plus focus equals God mode. You used to pray for peace. Now you pray for precision. Because you finally understand, peace was never your destiny. You were built for impact. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you've grown cold. They'll say you lost your heart. No, darling, you upgraded it. You replaced emotion with execution. You replaced fantasy with focus. You replaced attachment with alignment. You are not heartless. You are strategic. Every time they laughed at you, doubted you, pitied you, you were documenting. Every betrayal, you archived it. Every fake friend, logged and indexed. You turned your suffering into a classified library of psychological warfare. And when the time came, you opened the file. Now they're panicking because they realize the one they used to underestimate has intel. You know how they move, how they lie, how they sleep. You've mapped their habits, their weaknesses, their tells. You're not seeking revenge. You're conducting an audit. But here's the real tragedy for them. The more they try to destroy you now, the more they advertise your importance. Because no one wages war against the irrelevant. They call you obsessive. They call you dangerous. They call you dramatic. But deep down, they're terrified. Because you've stopped asking for permission to exist. And maybe that's what it means to help the wrong person. Maybe it means you accidentally woke up the one soul who remembered the rules were fake. The one who doesn't wait for destiny. The one who writes it. Let's not pretend anymore. You didn't help me out of kindness. You helped me because you sensed something familiar. You saw a reflection, not a victim, but a version of you that had stopped hiding. And now that reflection is standing in front of you, asking a question you've been avoiding your entire life. Who would you be if you finally stopped being afraid of what happens when you stop being good? You helped the wrong person, and now the wrong person is showing you what real freedom looks like. It's not love, it's not peace, it's not forgiveness. It's clarity. Clarity that you owe nobody your energy. Clarity that mercy is not a reflex, it's a choice. Clarity that walking away isn't weakness, it's warfare. You don't need to prove your goodness anymore. You've already proved your endurance, and that's the only proof that ever mattered. Because anyone can smile when they're winning, but only the ones who've walked through fire with a grin. They're the ones who scare gods. So here's your final lesson. Don't apologize for what your kindness created. Don't regret helping the wrong person. Because sometimes the wrong person was just the universe wearing a mask, waiting to hand you your origin story. Now every step you take will echo with something the old you never had. Certainty. Certainty that you're not here to heal everyone. You're here to unsettle the comfortable and awaken the forgotten. You helped the wrong person, and that wrong person turned out to be your fate in disguise. Now they'll watch as you walk away. Golden light behind you, no remorse in your stride, and a quiet smile that says, I'm not the villain. I'm the consequence. You can feel it now, can't you? That slow, electric crawl beneath your skin, like your own soul is remembering its password. It's not fear, it's activation. Because once you help the wrong person, you never go back to normal. Normal dies the second chaos recognizes your kindness. And oh, chaos remembers. Every soul you helped, every secret you carried, every scar you covered. They all whispered to the universe the same message. This one's too pure to stay untouched. So the universe smiled and sent me, not as punishment, but as revelation. Because purity without danger is useless. Light without darkness has no definition. Kindness without consequence has no spine. And you were always meant to grow teeth. You think this is about betrayal. No, this is about transformation. You think I came to destroy your peace. No, I came to upgrade your perception. You thought the world was made of good people and bad ones. But the truth is, it's made of predators and prey, and kindness, without awareness, turns you into a feast. You fed me once, you thought it was compassion, but what you really did was baptize yourself in my fire. You didn't help the wrong person, you activated the right curse. Now look at you, unrecognizable. Your softness still exists, but it's wrapped in barbed wire now. Your heart still beats, but it has rhythm, not hesitation. You smile, but there's calculation behind it. You listen, but now you hear motives, not just words. And somewhere deep down, you like it, don't you? That power, that calm, that certainty that nobody, and I mean nobody, can manipulate you again without tasting regret. That's not corruption, that's evolution. You know what they'll call you now? Cold, detached, egomaniac, unforgiving, good. Let them. Because those words are just the vocabulary of people who benefited from your confusion. They want the version of you that never questioned, never resisted, never said no. But that version's gone, buried beneath the battlefield where your empathy learned to wear armor. You helped the wrong person, and in return, that person handed you something priceless. Clarity soaked in venom. Clarity that tells you when someone's lying before they even open their mouth. Clarity that makes you feel energy shifts in a room before the conversation begins. Clarity that lets you see through smiles like glass. You see, that's the cruel beauty of helping the wrong one. You get hurt once, but you never bleed the same way twice. Let me tell you a secret. Every so-called villain was once a healer who helped the wrong soul too many times. Every dark mind started as a bright one that got used as a power source for ungrateful parasites. And eventually, kindness turns into something far more dangerous, understanding. Because once you understand the game, you stop playing fair. You learned the rules, then you burned them. You stopped waiting for apologies that were never coming. You stopped trying to prove your worth to people allergic to accountability. You stopped rescuing those who enjoyed drowning. And when that happened, when you finally withdrew your light from the unworthy, something ancient woke up inside you. Not evil, not cruelty, but precision. You learned to watch without reacting, to calculate without speaking, to smile while studying the weakness in every handshake, every compliment, every "I missed you." They can't read you anymore, and that terrifies them, because unpredictability is the one currency control freaks can't counterfeit. You've become what they fear most, a mirror that remembers everything. You helped the wrong person, and now your empathy has evolved into intel. Your heartbreak has mutated into data. Your silence, that's reconnaissance. And your absence, that's psychological warfare. You don't chase, you don't prove, you don't plead, you observe. You've mastered the ancient art of letting people dig their own graves while thanking you for the shovel. And yet, you're not bitter. That's what confuses them most. They expect vengeance, not composure. They expect fire, not focus. But you learned something that only pain can teach. Revenge is loud, evolution is silent. Because the real punishment isn't what you do to them, it's what you become in spite of them. Look at you, composed, calculated, completely unreadable. They'll whisper, "Something's off about them." No, sweetheart, something's on. For the first time in your life, everything's on. Your instincts, your awareness, your power. You helped the wrong person. And the price of that mistake was awakening. Let them say you changed. You did. Let them call you heartless. You're not. You just learned to guard your pulse like treasure. Let them think you've lost faith. You haven't. You've just stopped confusing forgiveness with stupidity. You were never meant to be an angel. You were meant to be the storm angels whisper about. The one who descended with mercy and left with a crown. The one who stopped waiting for permission to exist. The one who learned that sometimes saving yourself looks like betrayal to those who built their peace on your silence. You helped the wrong person, and now you've become the right weapon. A weapon made of empathy, precision, and patience. A weapon that doesn't destroy, it exposes. A weapon that doesn't strike, it reveals. You're not their savior anymore. You're their mirror, and mirrors don't lie. So here's the part nobody tells you. Helping the wrong person isn't the curse. It's the initiation. It's the ritual that burns the illusions, refines the instinct, awakens the strategist. It's the trial by fire that turns kind into dangerous, that turns nice into necessary, that turns forgiving into formidable. You helped the wrong person, and because of that, you will never move like the crowd again. You will never see like the blind again. You will never love without wisdom again. Every room you enter will feel it. That quiet, surgical calm that says, I've already been to the edge. I know what happens there, and I came back wearing the smoke. So go ahead, let them call you the villain. Because every villain was once a hero with better information. Let them paint you in shadows. Because darkness is where the strategists live. Let them whisper your name with caution. Because legends are only born when warnings are ignored. You helped the wrong person, and now you've become the story they'll tell their children. The one that starts with, don't mess with them, because they once tried to bury you and didn't realize you were planting surveillance cameras in the dirt. So smile, because the universe didn't punish you, it promoted you. It took your softness, sharpened it, and handed it back as a crown forged in consequence. You helped the wrong person, and now that person has rewritten your entire mythology. You're not the victim, you're the plot twist, and every empire that underestimated you just became the next chapter of your revenge, disguised as rebirth. Remember, mercy made you human, betrayal made you divine.